What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike, and today I'm back with a series that I started a very long time ago and really never kept up with, called Trenbolone Confessions. The last video in this series was quite interesting. This one will likely not be up to par. Yeah, I can't even mention the name of the previous video. I have too much company here right now. So today what I want to talk about on Trenbolone Confessions is, often on this channel you guys hear me singing the praises of various different compounds, talking about, you know, how much I enjoy running gear. Like, basically, you know, it's mostly positives about the effects of anything from TRT to cruises, blasts, you know, everything that there is to do with steroids. Obviously, I love it. I can't get enough. What I feel like I don't do a good enough job of, and really that may just be in part because it's really been a long time since I really pushed the envelope. You know, like for a while, for a good long while, I was basically stuck at 200 pounds and didn't think I was ever going to get bigger than that because I just couldn't manage to get calories down. You know, I tried some bigger blasts. I made a video not too long ago saying that I felt like 1,500 milligrams of gear per week was like the edge of comfort for me. It's like every time I try to push my total androgen dose over 1.5 grams of gear a week, I start to feel uncomfortable. And today I'm sitting here in front of you at about 1,800 milligrams, feeling very, very uncomfortable. Today has been one hell of a fucking mind fuck. And so I just want to shoot a candid video talking about, you know, some of the negatives of doing this, because generally all you hear me talking about is the positives. And even when I'm talking about negatives, it's usually just the negatives of Tren and how it can really fuck your shit up. Right now, Tren seems to be the least offensive compound in the mix. So to put things in perspective, right now I'm currently on 500, 600 milligrams of Test C per week, 400 milligrams of Masteron per week, 100 milligrams of Trenbolone per week. I just pinned 200 milligrams of Primo E, so I'm going to be at 400 milligrams of Primo per week, 300 milligrams of Nandrolone decanoate per week. I'm taking MK677 and I'm tapering off my dose. I'm down to like 15 or 20 milligrams today. And then I have had the ongoing problem of trying to figure out what has been going on with my body and my broken D game for the last 2 weeks. If you've seen the recent videos that I shot, then you know that we finally got the final answer is that I had crashed prolactin and my estrogen was on the high side. You know, there's some small variability to how high it was when the D game broke, so I can't completely blame that on the estrogen, but the definitive fact is that my estrogen was high. So 5 days ago, I got it tested, and on that day, it was 2 times the top end of the normal reference range. I finally got those results back last night and immediately dosed 1 milligram of Adex, and then woke up this morning. And so about 12 hours after the initial dose, I dosed another half of a milligram of Adex, trying to bring my estrogen level down rapidly. I woke up in an extremely foul mood this morning and have been on an absolute tear on Discord most of the day. I'm experiencing an extreme amount of anxiety. I have chosen to just tough it out and not dose myself with Xanax because I don't want the dosage creep. So I take 0.5 milligrams of Xanax every night. I just keep that, you know, relatively stable in my system. And basically what I'm experiencing right now is just likely the combined effects of estrogen coming down, prolactin coming up, and then I just jab myself with 200 milligrams of Primo E out of the blue. And today, when it started peaking in serum concentration, which is about 20 on E esters, about 24 hours post-injection, that tends to cause a lot of anxiety in me. And so today I've been dealing with extreme anxiety, a lot of paranoia, really, just kind of waves of paranoia, just a lot of just really physical discomfort. Now, not in the gym. I went to the gym and did arms and absolutely fucking laid waste to my arms. I'm kind of massaging my workout schedule a little bit because I'm committed to growing my legs again. And so what I was doing was kind of my leg day. I was doing some shoulders on because I don't really do a full shoulder day. My shoulders are already massive, and so I really don't work them that much. And so I was doing a few sets of shoulders and some legs, and my legs are developing to the point that they really need more attention. So I moved part of my shoulder day into my arm day. So I did bis, tris, and side delts today, and I went really hard for about 2 hours. I went really hard on back yesterday, and my body is definitely feeling the combined weight of that, of having done that. I guess it's also worth mentioning, and this could be causing some of the anxiety or whatever the fuck I'm feeling today. I started GH again yesterday too. So I've got a lot of shit going on in my system. I think that the last time I totaled it up, maybe somebody did some math there, I think I'm up around 1,800 milligrams of gear right now. And that dose is probably going to go up. So that's where I'm currently sitting, and today has just been a serious mind fuck of a day. This is something that I experienced early on in my steroid using career, for lack of a better term. My wife and I have gone through this many times, and she was the one that kind of became a veteran of being able to spot this. I didn't understand in the beginning how acutely the spike of an injection would feel in my body, especially a new compound that I'm not used to. So like when I first started on TRT and I would pen 200 milligrams, that following day I would be really fucking amped up and like, you know, pounding heart, and like I would feel kind of anxious. And then, you know, once your body adjusts to the drug, you don't feel it anymore. The come up of any drug is always the most pronounced, has the most pronounced effects physically and psychologically. When I take drugs like Masteron and Trenbolone, they have very potent sort of antidepressant qualities in me, but large doses can make me kind of hyperactive, kind of anxious. It's just anxiety. It's just kind of like an overamped feeling. And so I would experience this out of the blue. I would start feeling bad, and I would usually think, you know, do I have high blood pressures or something wrong with my pulse? Like, you know, like I would always think something was actually going wrong with me. And it took a while of using and having this experience, you know, frequently recurring. My wife had gotten to the point where I'd start kind of going, I don't feel good, you know, and I'm checking vitals, and maybe I should go to the hospital, and, you know, and she's kind of like, I think you're okay. And one day I guess I asked her, like, why do you say that? Like, why do you just think that I'm okay? Like, I don't feel good at all. And she's like, yeah, but this happens kind of a lot, and it just goes away. And so I started trying to figure out, okay, what is this connected to? And that was originally when I first started spacing out all of my injections. So I usually pen long esters, E esters, and so I would take all of my, whatever I was taking twice a week. So if I happened to be running, say, Test and Tren, in whatever doses, I would take both those shots, you know, on the same day. And the large amount of androgen hitting my dome basically 24 hours later, I noticed was what was causing these uncomfortable effects. And when I started spacing the doses out, I started feeling a lot better. So I take, like currently I take Deca, I'm taking Tren every day right now. I was trialing the E ester, the daily injection of E ester. I think it's a total waste. I'm probably going to quit. Well, actually I'm about to start ACE, so I'm not going to be able to quit doing daily injections. But for the long esters, I lost my train of thought. Man, I'm telling you. Whoo! This has been a hell of a fucking day, man. What was I saying? I pinned Deca on one day, then I pinned Test on one day, Masteron, then I repeat Deca, Test, Masteron, day off. That's currently been my pinning protocol. I don't really like to pin more than 250 milligrams per day is really the max that I have thus far been injecting. So I spread my compounds out so that I'm never really doing more. My test dose is the highest dose, it's 250 milligrams per milliliter, and I take 2 milliliters a week, so I take 250 milligrams a shot. Now that I'm trying to raise my doses up to 2 grams or more, there's no avoiding taking more in each shot. So I'm now adding a 4th compound, being Trenbolone, and I'm gonna have to figure out which day I'm gonna stick that on. I think I'm gonna do Primo and Deca, Test, and Masteron. I think I haven't decided yet. And if the Masteron dose goes, whatever doses go up, I gotta find a way to fit all of these in to my pinning protocol. And it ultimately really doesn't matter. That's the thing. Like your body will adjust to anything. I mean, you could do a gram in 1 shot, and yeah, it will rock the fuck out of you 24 hours later. And for about 4 weeks, you'll probably be rocked every time those compounds rise in your system. But the body is just it's very adaptable, and so nothing continues to feel as uncomfortable in the long run as it can in the short term. That was one of the things that I just figured out with mint. I've never run an ACE ester before, and I think if I remember correctly, looking at the steroid plotter, you can go in there and plot how much you're taking and what interval, and it'll tell you when it'll peak in serum concentration. And I believe it was day 9 that an ACE ester peaks in serum concentration. Sure enough, around 8 or 9, I was like, fuck, man, you're just feeling really uncomfortable. And my wife and I always agree, like, this is the come up. You're at the peak of the come up. This is when it feels the most acute. This is the highest you're going to get. And so once you get a stable concentration, I really don't think it matters what. Greg or Grug on Discord is running 700 milligrams of Tren Ace right now, and he's on day 8 or 9 and fucking feeling it in an acute way. And I was telling him today, like, he just got it right. He was gonna pull the plug on it. I hope I'm not oversharing your information. He was gonna pull the plug on it. I was like, dude, like, I'm not saying 700 milligrams of Tren Ace is a good idea. It's probably fucking not. It's probably not sustainable. But what you're feeling right now is almost certainly the peak. Like, wait it out a few more days and see if you don't start to feel better. The human mind adapts to things very rapidly. And so while right now I'm feeling the peak of Primo because I just introduced it to my system and it hasn't had it in over a year and a half, I'm really feeling the effect of it. And then within a few weeks of pinning it, 200 milligrams twice a week, I won't even notice anymore. Like, I never notice my test. I don't notice the compounds that I've been running for a while. I don't notice anymore. And so that is what is likely for me leading to a lot of the discomfort. So right now I have just a perfect storm of a lot of things being on the move. I made an entire video on my channel. If you haven't watched, it's definitely one of the better videos, definitely worth watching. I think I titled it something like, I regret ever cycling Trenbolone or something like that. And it's kind of a clickbait title, but the point of the video is to explain that I really regret cycling because the come up and the come down are what seems to be the most, to feel the worst on your body. When you're coming up, it can be very intense and it can cause a lot of anxiety and overamped feelings and stress and discomfort. And then once you reach a stable level of hormones in your system, then you're cruising. I just made a video not long ago before I started fucking with the mint that I was saying, like, I don't know why I would ever come off blast. When I was running Test, Deca, Tren, Masteron, I was feeling great. I wasn't feeling overamped ever. I wasn't feeling the weight of the cycle on me. I wasn't feeling, the burden or the pressure that sometimes I feel on blast. And I was saying that I felt like I could run it indefinitely and that was 500 milligrams of Test, 200 milligrams of Deca, 70 milligrams of Tren, and 400 milligrams of Masteron. And I was, at those doses, I was cruising. I felt like I wasn't even on shit, other than my workouts were very productive because of the Trenbolone. And because my body had just totally adjusted to the compounds. And over the last week, there has been so much flux between, over the last few weeks, because I thought I thought my estrogen was high, so I took my test dose down from 500 to 300. Then I thought it was low, so I jacked it back up from 300 to 600. Then I added Primo. Then I found out that my prolactin was low, so I took the Caber out, so my prolactin's coming back up. Then I found out my E2 is high, so now I'm adding Adex and pulling out other things. It's a fucking total disaster, and that just, I mean, it really rocks your fucking world, and I am feeling it today in a really acute way. One of the things I was saying to Grug on Discord today was, you know, this is just the nature of the game. You know, if we weren't the type of people that got off on pushing the fucking envelope, we'd still be natties. And I'm not, because I do like to push the envelope. I've gotten to the point where, like, I've been getting so irritated on Discord today with a bunch of people because there's several people that are just not, they're not bodybuilders. They're not, you know, they're either skinny guys or just newbies who've never run cycles before. And I've almost turned, you know, PED usage into some kind of like religion or cult, is almost the way I look at the rest of the world now. You know, it's like I look at people who are natty the same way most people look at like a fucking evangelical Christian running up and down the aisles, like fucking speaking in tongues and dancing and acting like a fucking maniac. Like you know, or it's like people who are natty are just like, they're just like a different breed. It's just like they're just not on my fucking radar at all. We're coming at life from two totally different perspectives, especially at the fucking doses that I'm getting up into now. And so when I see people in the Discord who aren't on cycle, I'm just like, why am I wasting my time even talking to you? Why are you even here? Obviously, I keep trying to get people from my YouTube channel to get on the Discord because it is a great platform to communicate on, and that's one of the things that I think I struggle with the most. You know, it's like I want to grow the biggest audience possible, and there's just not 4 million bodybuilders in the world. So obviously a large portion of my audience is not going to be people who are running 2.5, you know, 1.5, 2 grams gear, maybe any gear at all. And so I forget that. I forget that people from all walks of life watch me for whatever reason, various reasons. And I admit that, like, I have a really hard time communicating with some of you. I'm really impatient with anybody who is not, like, in the brotherhood of PEDs, who's not training regularly, who's not cycling, who's not blasting. I just can't. I just feel like we have nothing in common, and so it's hard for me to try to find a common ground. And I guess if I'm going to be successful at YouTube, it's something that I'm going to have to do a better job of. Or just quit communicating, I guess. But anyway, I really did not have anything specific to talk about. I wanted to just shoot kind of a raw video and show you the total basket case situation that I'm in today, because this is a side that people don't usually talk about. You know, it's easy to get on camera and say, you know, talk about how great I feel on a cycle, how pumped I feel, how driven I feel. It's easy to talk about fucking slaying workouts and, you know, and smashing food and talk about the gains, you know, the weight gain or getting more diced or chiseled, or, you know, the vascularity. Like, I'm absolutely loving the way my body is looking right now, and I'm absolutely loving the performance that I'm getting in the gym. But outside of the gym, the last week has been a total mindfuck. I've really been going through it. I think that, you know, the distance that's existed between my wife and I, my mom has been here for a fucking week. And so our entire schedule is like, there's lack of privacy. There's just a lot of extra strains and stressors that I'm definitely not used to. I am a loner through and through. This is the longest time I've ever shared my house with anyone else, like, I think, in life, honestly. And the fact that I've been able to fucking keep a lid on it for this long. I thought she was gonna be here for like a fucking couple of days, and it's turned into an entire week. And so I think that's probably also a massive contributing factor to why I'm fucking shaken to the fucking core today. But I wanted to be honest and transparent, and even if this is a shit, rambling, you know, fucking anxiety driven fucking video. This is real. This is what really happens. Not all days are good. Some days and some weeks are like this, and it's what you have to pay to play. It's not all good. There's lots of negatives to running fucking gear, especially the way I run it. I have been on greater than 600 milligrams of gear for 30 plus weeks now straight. Like, I've just been blasting for a very long time with no breaks. Even when I was sick in the hospital, I was on greater than 600 milligrams of gear. So my receptors, my brain, my dopamine, my dopamine receptors, my androgen receptors, nothing has had a break in a very long time. I am just fucking absolutely going balls to the wall. Because I guess because I'm a drug addict, because I'm addicted to bodybuilding, because I'm scared of what will happen if I quit, because it's become my identity, because it gives me something to talk about on this camera. All those reasons, I guess, man. It's just what I'm doing. And today's not been the best day. So there you have it. Trenbolone confessions. Running gear is not always a good time, and sometimes you have to fucking stay strong and just trust the fucking system and don't panic. And eventually I'll fucking take a Xanax and probably feel better about it. But I suspect the next probably coming days are not going to be a lot better. I have compounds rising in my system. I have estrogen that I'm trying to bring down. I've got prolactin that I'm trying to bring up. It's going to be a mind fuck. And I'll let you guys come along for the ride as always. So, as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.